Hi, Beth. How are you? I see that you're here. Who else is here? Anything you want to ask, Beth, or say? Last week, I wonder if you remember how you felt after the practice. My new focus, or the focus of now, is the beginner mind and going back to basics, slowing down the practice and approaching it as if we are just learning a posture for the first time so that we can actually refine it, and not even just refine it, but maybe reprogram it. Because that's what I would say that I'm noticing is even those with a 20-year yoga practice are not necessarily doing the postures as effectively as they could. So if we slow down the practice and relearn how to do them and why we're doing them, because I think that's an important part as well, then we could be the most effective possible in creating bone and muscle building strength. All right, let me see. So any communication before we start? Nope, that means we're just ready to do it. All right, I'm gonna go back to my, let me see who. Carolyn, good morning. Okay, wait, I need to put glasses on because I think this is a new person. Okay, Mick Minman from Virginia, is that right? Is that where VA is? Or no, is it somewhere else? All right, any questions before I move over there? Because I cannot communicate when I'm far away from the computer. So if anyone has anything to ask or say, hi, Terry, nice to see you, Kathy. It's nice for me to know, because I know some of you, and so it's nice for me to visualize you out there, and then that's who I'm speaking to, although of course I speak to everyone that's here, but it is nice for me to know who's here practicing with me. Kathy, wondering if you're sore at all from Tuesday. Tuesday's class, definitely I felt it right at the attachment of my legs to my body. And so just wondering if you, yeah, Virginia, okay, great. And if there's anything you want me to know about you or ask any questions, I try to tailor my classes specific to anyone, regardless of ability or diagnosis, whether that's osteopenia or osteoporosis. All right, I'm gonna go back there. Perfect. So for today's practice, make sure you have a chair, a block, a strap, and a blanket. And then if there's anything else that you need, go ahead and get that as well. We'll put the strap, we'll put the chair off to the side first, and the strap and all the props off to the side. So it's good to have your props, and then some of them we'll use right away, some not. So we're gonna use the blanket right away, and we will use the bolster, or actually the block. One day I'm gonna learn how to speak. So we'll use the block and the blanket to begin with. A thicker blanket is better. You want your blanket to be long like this. If you have a bolster at home, you could use a bolster underneath your spine instead of the blanket. I like to begin with posture correction and spine work, because that is one of the most important areas to begin, or really one of the most important areas for us to focus on is our spine. And it is the spine where most fractures occur, and throughout your day, depending on how you stand and sit and move, it's the spine that's going to have the most effect from daily lifestyle, whether you're sitting a lot, looking forward with your head. So our daily lifestyle is going to have an effect on posture. Posture and alignment has effect on the forces that your bones receive every day that tell them that they need to be stronger, or that it's okay, you don't need to be that strong. So our bones are present moment, and they respond, they're judgmental, they respond to what's being perceived. So the spine is a very big part of that communication. Also, the spine plays a role in balance for fall prevention. So the communication from the feet up to the brain is coming through your spine. So you want this nice communicative pathway from feet to brain. And you want your spine to be aligned so that the forces are creating the right tension in your muscles and your bones. So this practice is going to be a beginner mind-based practice where we approach this as if it was the first time we were learning or doing the practice, the poses, so that you can refine them and maybe notice, even if it's something you've done for years and years and years, am I doing this correctly? Because correctly and proper alignment in postures creates stimulation in different areas. We're pulling and pushing on the bones from many different angles. And so we want to make sure that we're doing that as effectively as we can, so that the whole time you're doing your practice, you could be giving it your best effort and your most effort so that you could create bone building stimulation. So we're going to begin by correcting our posture from today, from yesterday, always something to do. No matter how good our posture is, we live so far forward. And so this is a way to take that out of the body. So go ahead and roll up your blanket or get a bolster if you're going to use a bolster. And then we're going to come down onto the blanket, making sure that we do not compress the front of the spine, we don't flex forward the spine. That's the biggest thing to avoid with osteoporosis and osteopenia. Making sure you maintain this nice length as you bring yourself down onto your blanket. When you are down is when you start to refine. So make sure that the low back is right at the base of the blanket. You're not sitting on the blanket with your tushy. You have your tushy on the ground. Blanket is behind your spine. And then you want some support at your head. So lengthen the back neck, lift your head, lengthen your neck, tuck your chin towards your chest. So coming into this aligned position here. And again, this is a time for beginner mind. Bringing your awareness to, is my tushy on the ground? Do I feel the sacrum, the lower spine pressing into the ground? Do I feel that blanket or whatever you have behind your spine in the middle of your spine? What's going on with the back of the neck? The nose should be pointing straight up towards the sky and not towards the wall behind you. If you are towards the wall behind you, that is putting in a curve in your neck called extension. Can you lift your head, tuck your chin towards your chest, lengthen the back neck so much, and it may feel tight here. You may feel a pull because this is going to be correcting posture. So find this in your body, and then take your block and bring your block onto your belly. So put the block on the belly, below the ribs, and then bring your arms into whatever position makes you feel the most and appropriate stretch. It could be that your arms are straight, or you could bend your elbows. You want your hands to be resting on the ground, the back of the hands, the wrists, and the forearms and the upper arm bone. So try to get as much of your body to be resting and touching the floor as possible. And then make sure your hands are not closer to your body than your elbows. So push your hands away from you if your elbows are bent. Then slide the hands up towards the wall behind you to the place where you feel an appropriate stretch. And notice, did your chin go up and your head? And if so, lift your head, lengthen the back neck, and keep your spine nice and long in the back of your body. Once you arrive here with your eyes open, get familiar with your surroundings. And then we're going to go inward, a place to feeling, a place to noticing. So close your eyes. Bring your awareness to where you're feeling the stretch. Make sure it's appropriate. And if you're not feeling too much of a stretch, go into a deeper version that will create more stretch. So the arm sliding up towards the wall behind you is going to give a little more pulling action in the chest muscles and the shoulder muscles. Making sure your arms still stay on the ground. And then if you're already feeling enough stretch, stay where you are. I like to begin with my knees bent, feet flat. because we're manipulating a part of the spine, the middle part of the spine, and where we're going to translate the tension as we try to remove any curvature from tightness or held patterns in the thoracic spine. Whenever we do this, the neck and the low back will start to feel the tension as we start to correct this spine curve. So with the knees bent, you're going to take that tension out of the low back. Walk your feet closer to your body and then walk your feet away. And notice with the eyes closed, do you start to feel more tension when the feet walk away? If you do and it's too much, then you could stay with your knees bent, a little wider than your body with your feet, and let your knees fall in towards each other. Especially those of you with low back issues, or if you have a pretty strong curve in your upper spine. And then if you're feeling okay to straighten your legs, go ahead and straighten the legs. Dig your heels into the ground, push your sacrum or the base of your spine into the floor, or towards the floor, push your belly button towards the floor, and then soften. If the low back is okay here, stay with your legs straight. If not, go back and bend your knees. Feeling that stretch in the upper chest area, in the upper spine, and you may even notice something in the neck, along each side of the neck or one side of the neck, maybe all the way up to where the skull attaches to the spine. So this is a great postural correction position. One of my favorites to do with the blanket rolled up. And if you don't have a blanket, a towel will do. You could do this when you're traveling. You could do this in your home. And it's a nice postural correction position. And then having gravity from above gives enough pressure to get that nice aligned position in your spine. The better your spine is aligned, the more force you could create in your spine to strengthen it, and the less factors will contribute to compression, spinal compression fractures. We want to minimize fractures in our spine, and we want to maximize strength in our spine with daily living activities. So if you're aligned every day, bones are judgmental and present moment. The more aligned you are, they're going to strengthen in that aligned position. So let's start to soften some of the tension that may be in your neck area. Mouth is closed, inhale. As you exhale, slowly let your head roll towards one side. When you finish the exhale, you inhale back up to center. Exhale the other side. Moving in whatever range of motion feels appropriate for you. Try to move so you can get a lot of stretch. And go slow, go with breath. Bringing yourself back up to neutral. Let your body be heavy here. Feel the left leg, the whole leg. Feel the heel in the ground, the calf touching the back of the thigh, and the left buttock. If your knee is bent, feel the foot and the buttock in the ground. And then let the left leg be heavy. See if you could let go of any holding patterns. Same thing now with the right side, the heel, the calf, the buttock, the entire right leg. Let it be heavy. You could feel that pressure of it pushing down into the ground. Then feel your pelvis. Feel the sacrum, feel the heaviness of your pelvis. Left arm, the back of the hand, the wrist, the arm, the whole arm. Let it go, let it be heavy. The right arm, the back of the arm, the wrist, let it be heavy. Let your head be heavy, your torso be heavy. Mouth is closed. Follow your breath in your nose to your heart. And then start to follow the breath down to your belly where your block is. See if you could feel your belly pressing your block so your block rises and falls with breath.